Hello. I say hello, not hello. I will no longer use the greeting word of hello anymore after having read this one leaflet of its author, whereas it was saying in more words or less, so I paraphrased it and not quote exactly. That when a person greets another individual with the greeting word of hello, you're supposedly wishing a curse upon that other individual person, being that because the root word of the greeting word of hello is that being of hell, being of which is to be defined as translated, meaning a place of torment. But I will continue to use the greeting words of hey and hi, and whereas the greeting word of hello will be replaced by the greeting word of halo, being of which sounds similar to that one, but not only does it has a different spelling, but it pretty much so has, well, more or less a different meaning, though pretty much so a similar so one. But then, how are you all doing, my social media family of subscribers, as well as any visitors to that being in my own immediate personal channel, chat room, and our comment section? Is what I meant to say in asking that question, or that being the question at hand at this rather late hour, whereas it is something like way past my bedtime hour of 11 p.m. As I try to get my beauty rest, regardless of any proverbial neighbors from hell, characters, public nuisances, problem neighbors, and as I do from time to time, use sleeping medicines with my having been diagnosed with a medical sleep disorder issue. And whereas it is now something like an hour and a half past my bedtime, making out, oh, excuse me again. See, you can see the effects of being up past my bedtime, hour 11. Whereas what I meant to say, as I think of it with that in my mind, I tend to try to backtrack here with reason and purpose of being, and so I can go on to continue from where and when that my person had last left off, so I can finish up as complete a form previous to prior line thought in the same sense of the word, or as I try to do so now. Whereas seeing how it is about an hour and a half past my bedtime hour of 11 p.m., give or take some such minutes, whereas that would make that out to be something like 12:30 is what I meant to say. So you all had better appreciate the present social media broadcast or video as we have it, you know. So I say to you all, being of my social media family, of subscribers, and any visitors for that matter, to that being of my own particular immediate personal channel, chat room, and our comment section. You know. Then how you all doing? Hopefully everyone is doing at least okay. If not better yet to be said to be feeling all right, or if not best of all to be said to be feeling blessed and stressed, more blessed and stressed, or too blessed to possibly be calm or be stressed. You and yours, your family, friends, hopefully me and mine likewise as well, or all the same. Or so I say, being that I'm my person, regardless of whether or not I am speaking that of any correct, proper, standard English grammar of the American dialect of some such qualities and quantities, and not in disregard what you may hear in the background, just as long as it's not a neighbor from hell carrying on, then it should be less likely a disruption or interruption to this particular social media broadcast or video as we have it at the present. And now that I've gotten the preliminaries, being of the basic intro as an introduction out the way, then let me commence with the verbal exercise, conversational dialogue, and speaking upon a topic of discussion uh, a subject matter to be debated, or for that of a given argument with many different views and opinions to be possibly affiliated or associated with and representing some of such thereof. And as this particular one is regarding making reference to that of the most recent music concert, being of which had been held, whereas the celebrity and the sponsors and promoters of it are equally as well responsible for what had taken place or what had happened, being the results of developments of not just one, not just a couple of few, but more than quite a few deaths. As a matter of fact, it was supposed to have been last I had recalled or recollecting, or as I remember, something like 9 deaths at this one music concert, being which was performed by this one black rap artist brother. Well, he himself is no brother of mine. If he's coming off misbehaving, acting just ever so foul, and having so much disregard and or disrespect for human life, being that because that is just so much negligence on his part, and also any other persons being of whom are associated with him, as in the sponsors and promoters of this same event of a music concert, whereas there were the music concert spectators who were bomb rushing the stage where the music concert is being held, and in the process of them doing so, it had become the result of the developments of they themselves trampling up under their feet some of such other music concert spectators, their fellow music concert spectators, and now they are dead. So this celebrity, and as well as any those persons associated with them, being of the sponsors and or promoters of this event of a music concert, should be held responsible, and they should be reprimanded to the fullest extent of the law, whereas it should prove to have become or be a no-brainer, as in become or be self-explanatory, as well as it should go without saying that, well, to use a much better word to describe what should happen to them, they should be punished within a courtroom setting for its atmosphere, for its premises and properties, before a judge, jury, and prosecutor. Not only the celebrity, but possibly likewise the sponsors and promoters of this one event of a music concert should do some of such rather serious time in the can, as in, become inmates of a penitentiary within the prison system, as well as they should be reprimanded to pay that monetary financial compensation or reimbursement, to the families of the victims, family members of the victims, whom are associated with them, as well as any victims, if they could have possibly survived, Well, 9 persons died at this music concert, and whereas numerous others were injured, but they're still in the land of the living compared to their fellow music concert spectators who are now dead. Dead as a doorknob, as dead as they come. unless they were to become subjected to experiencing one of these beyond and back experiences, could come back to life. Either that or be resuscitated by any paramedics, being whom had finally arrived upon the scene where this music concert was being held. And because after certain ones of the music concert spectators were trampled to death, whereas this music concert went on for another half an hour, give or take some minutes. Imagine that. Before, you know, ambulance and the paramedics and the fire department, etc., finally arrived on the scene to try to regain control of the music concert and to take care of the necessary business otherwise, to see who's dead and who's living. How many are dead and how many are just injured, but alive. I think you know what music concert I'm talking about, you all. It was a tragic loss of lives, and those who are responsible for it should be held accountable within a court of law before a judge, jury, and prosecutor. That goes without saying, as well as it will go double, triple to be said. It don't take a rocket scientist to figure that out, whereas they should be reprimanded severely to serve as a strong deterrent against any other celebrities, sponsors, or promoters of music concerts, to let it be known, let it be said and stated for the record, if any deaths occur at your event, you will suffer the severe or serious consequences for some of such taking place, or as it could happen and become the results of developments otherwise, because you cannot just give a mere slap on the wrist to the likes, and because if anything, if they were to, just be dealt with lightly, then who's to say whether or not that would be an incentive to other celebrities or, singers and musicians and etc., including the sponsors and promoters of a music concert event, to take the risk if they feel that, they won't be taken seriously within a court of law. And if they figure they can just pay their way out of it with a mere slap on the wrist, and whereas they would consider the profit margins much more, much more an opportunity to secure than the meager risk otherwise. So it has to be a greater risk to them if from there they were to acknowledge that if they have a music concert be established at some or such a given moment in time, whenever and wherever, and if any deaths occur within or for its premises or properties during the time frame period, that after they will be reprimanded, they will be punished severely. And that's my opinion on that music concert that was held, that resulted in developments of the deaths of 9 persons. You know, 9 persons, I say, not just one, not just 2 or 3 or a couple few, but 9 persons. That was totally ridiculous, and I hope that those persons that had ended up dead at this music concert had accepted Christ as their personal Lord and Savior before they went out of this world. Otherwise, the final resting place would be the lake of fire, damn hell. But then this black rap artist brother, who was the main attraction, main event for this music concert, I hear he himself is supposed to be some kind of devil worshiper. And that's something. But then, on this last note of interest, I would like to close out by saying, and as you all know, that for each and every one of my social media broadcasts or videos, I will usually open up with a greeting, and then from there I will discuss something of a topic or a subject matter to be debated. I will give an argument with many different views and opinions, be it of a Q&A session or something Well, I think you get the general idea of what I'm trying to say. That I would, from there, after having given the greeting, I would speak my mind upon a subject matter, maybe a couple few or 4 more for that matter, depending on how I feel at that given moment in time, you know. And then last but not least, I will give the conclusion of the matter with the usual, they call it epilogue. I don't know. Well, I think you get what I'm trying to say. But anyway, though, I'm going to leave you with this last note of interest by saying, if you haven't gotten Christ as your personal Lord and Savior, I will hope that you would think to do so now while the blood is still running warm in your veins, by recognizing or realizing what he himself had done or did upon the cross of Calvary on the hill of Golgotha, suffering at the hands of some sort of Roman soldiers upon the orders of their religious and political and military leaders, etc., Pharisees and Sadducees and Roman centurions and Caesars, etc., and whatever else for that matter. But then, nevertheless, he went to that cross of Calvary to become the perfect sacrifice, the only sacrifice for you as well as for me. So that if any of us, being of whatsoever race and whatever walks of life, factions of society, lifestyle preferences, being an old, young, alike, both two sexual genders, males and females, representing and associated with not only the human species, but then nevertheless the global community within this post 911 era, but new millennial, apocalyptic day and age, where the doomsday clock is now at a couple few minutes to midnight compared on to our foreign period of pride, and it was at a quarter midnight for these rather biblically prophetic time, where to profess some such faith in him. From there we become and be blessed in one God, none more ways one. First and foremost, with his salvation, been which is the only means by which any of us can or could possibly become citizens of the kingdom of heaven. Then second of all, while we're still here, with his deliverance. But first you have got to get his salvation being up, not just the much more, but the most important blessing. Otherwise, you cannot be entitled to any of the blessing. Your final resting place will be the lake of fire, damn hell, to be assembled with the rest of the unsaved, lost, damn human souls of unbelievers and unbelievers, to be tortured and terrorized by the devil and demon forever, compared on to we being otherwise of believers across that great divide that separates heaven from hell will be in the kingdom of heaven in the presence of God and his angels. You all take care and be safe. Be blessed, not stressed. Peace and love. If you want to have, I'll highlight you later. Peace.